Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am the vigilant, conscientious, but at the same time pretentious man. I am with the sexiest co-host to ever live. All 300 and 400 and 500 and 600 pounds of the universe, Lucas Greifzu over here. And we are the Elevate Pro Wrestling News Podcast. And we have a very short list of things today to go through.
This was a dead week.
This was a dead week. I won't lie to you. This was like Blackout Tuesday for wrestling. There was nothing going on. At least nothing interesting, but we'll still do the news because we make it interesting.
Speaking of non-interesting things, Legado del Fantasma.
Won the AAA tag belts.
Speaking of other non-interesting things, AAA.
There you go.
Just a whole bunch of non-interesting bullshit.
After we just completely took a big fat shit on AAA last week, we'll take another shit out of them to start this program. Legado won the AAA tag belts.
I mean, it's cool that they're building on whatever.
At least they did.
Yeah, at least they're building on whatever Worlds Collide was.
Yep.
But
I agree with that.
I'm still not interested by any.
Well, now they also announced that Super Show, which is a borderline house show.
That's interesting, yeah.
Which was strange because it definitely looks like they're bringing all their stars down to Mexico to do that. But then I'm like, but there's going to be no AAA affiliation. Mm-hmm. So then it confuses the hell out of me because I'm like, what is the goal here still? Mm-hmm. Is the goal just to have, again, just like how TNA is okay, we have another company that we could send guys that we don't want? Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't really know what the point is other than just having it be a place where you could send guys who you aren't doing anything with but are still paying.
Right, to me it seems like the UK, when they do shows over in the UK or they'll do a show in Ireland or India or wherever, they'll call out, the Great Khali or some UK guy, some local UK guy to have a match. Or in Saudi when they used to do that with Mansoor.
Yep.
That's what it's starting to feel like, which honestly sucks because there's, as much as Worlds Collide sucked, there's some pretty good talent in AAA.
I agree. And the fact that the only person who's looking like he's going to get a deal with WWE is Mr. Goddamn Iguana. That's the only person that I've seen any rumors of getting signed. No Psycho Clown, no Pagano, no Wagner.
No Vikingo either.
No Vikingo. Yeah, that's an interesting one too. Speaking of which, also interesting that he just had a title defense against El Patron. Mm-hmm. Which, obviously, I don't think WWE is going to highlight, but at the same time, too, it's they are in turn paying him now.
Technically.
Officially, we could say that they've done the Worlds Collide event. Now AAA is, we could say, is officially part of the program. Mm-hmm. They're paying him.
They're paying him. Which is hilarious because when they did, the recaps of past AAA events.
Yeah, when Vikingo won the belt, they were recapping.
They blocked out his face.
Yeah, on everything. On every single thing that he was a part of, they would show his legs. They would show, a person covering him. The cameraman was, on, his face by accident in this shot, but then they used it anyway. Crazy. Just fire the guy or hire the guy at this point. I don't understand. It's obvious you are paying him. They're a subsidiary of TKO. Mm-hmm. So at this point, just pay the guy to do WWE stuff because he's a bigger draw in America.
Or just
release him. No, wait, here's something interesting, too. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you've seen these videos online. Mm-hmm. Vikingo got booed against Patron.
That's funny.
He came out to do his entrance and got booed. Yeah. And then it was a cage match that they did. And he wins, and he got booed again. And they're not referencing it on any, because there's been no uploads on any of the WWE stuff about this AAA event, obviously because Patron's a part of it. But if you go and you watch, I went to TikTok where there's, fans that post, their own cams and stuff. Dude, people were vehemently booing this guy. And it's probably because the Mexican audience is realizing that they're getting whitewashed right now. And they don't want Vikingo, who, for lack of a better term, is more focused, it seems, in his which makes sense. Yeah. Is more focused on getting to WWE than he is in staying in AAA.
He's not a traditional lucha guy anyway, to begin with.
Well, right, exactly. He's shorter, he doesn't wrestle. I mean, he does, the flippy stuff, but it's much more sensationalized than it is actual lucha. Mm-hmm. Which I guess you could say the same for Patron, but at the same time, it's interesting because how they're... At the end of the day, whether you like Patron or not, he is more... Again, because AAA was the only company that would take him, he's more loyal to them than I guess Vikingo is. If Vikingo got a deal tomorrow, he would drop that AAA belt.
Oh, 100%.
Vice versa, if Patron got a deal, I don't know if he would take it because he wouldn't want to get booed in WWE.
Right.
So it's interesting that the Mexican audience now is starting to have a little bit of pushback against them, which, honestly, we could take this into our next part of this, which... Now AEW is running Mexico next week. How well will this show do now that the Mexican audience, although it's clear that they're not happy with the WWE buying them. Maybe they'll be a little more happy that AEW's partnering, not buying.
Yeah.
So maybe this will boost up CMLL ratings, which, you know, in turn could boost this, they doing the Mexican Arena?
Who?
The AEW show that's on Wednesday. Yeah, I don't remember where it is. I think it's the Mexican Arena. But yeah, so that'll be interesting to see if it boosts ratings.
What are they doing? I mean, I know they're doing the CMLL show, but who are they bringing to these other events if they released anything?
Who, AEW?
Yeah.
Well, they've planned that it's going to be this super show. They're doing Mystico and MJF, which is why Mystico was on Dynamite the other day against the jobber Blake Christian, which crazy. Great booking, amazing booking. Dude got one middle finger in, and then Mystico kicked the shit out of him. Wait, did you see what MJF said to him?
Yeah, he said he's going to demask him. Did
you hear what he also said, though?
What?
He's like, I grew up watching you when you were a second-grade botching Sin Cara.
Jesus Christ.
He called him Sin Cara on TV, which was hilarious. But here's my other problem, too, and it's the same problem that I have with Worlds Collide. It's the same problem that I'm going to have with inevitably what's going to happen on Dynamite this week. Dude, there is a styles clash between these American wrestlers and these AEW guys. Again, the fact that you have not built Will Ospreay to have a match on this card is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it Will Ospreay facing Mystico? MJF, yes, I know, understand it. It'll draw. It's not for anything. It's not going to do anything.
And it's not like MJF is going to run with it after because he's doing his stick with the dirt business.
Right, that's the thing. That's the other part of it too. Like, yes, if he demasked Mystico in Mexico, that would be crazy. It would be better if he then kept the mask with him the whole time. If he does keep the mask with him, like that should be his new ring.
Yeah.
Like the way that he comes out the Dynamite Diamond ring should be the same thing that he does when he comes out with Mystico's mask. Because that's a big person in Mexico to be doing that with.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think they built like FTR and Atlantis Jr. and the other Atlantis.
I don't know why that. I don't know because they keep having them wrestle these random.
They wrestled them 2 weeks ago on the other 4-hour show. They wrestled Atlantis and a dude.
So like it's not special.
I don't remember what his name was, but they're all interchangeable mask guys at this point, which is kind of the issue at large here.
Power Rangers.
Yeah. Again, Mike Bailey doesn't have. Oh, they do. Well, that's the other part of it too. And then all the other matches that they're putting on this card are 12-person matches. It's like the whole Don Callis family against like 6 luchadors. And then the other one has no CMLL guys in it. It's just 12 AEW guys wrestling. I'm like, which could only make me think that Tony's paying for this whole thing.
Yeah.
Other than the arena, and he's paying all the boys, and all the wrestlers are cool because they're like, oh, we're about to make triple, quadruple what our normal payday would be.
Right.
On top of the fact that probably a lot of them, because that's the other part of it too. I will admit WWE made it special because now Vikingo's not on TV. He's not going to be on TV for a little while. He was on TV building up to this event. AEW, it's like Dorado's still going to be on TV. Yeah. Commander's still going to be on TV. Mystico's inevitably going to come back at some point. Like, it's not like this partnership's going to fizzle out. You know what I mean? It's not like it's just going to die and then, I have to watch this week. No, I'm going to get the same goddamn luchadors next week doing flippy dippies. Exactly. Like, what difference does it actually make in the grand scheme of things? And in my opinion, it's majorly distracting from All In.
No, I agree completely, especially since they're trying to build up the Omega Okada match. So had Okada join the Don Callis family, which I think was dumb. But
that whole segment
sucked.
That whole segment was
and then the worst part is they then came back out to main event the whole 4-hour show.
I thought, and this, again, I'll admit they swerved me, I guess, but the fact that you had Okada get into this with Don already doesn't make sense. They're both heels. Great. Then you tease, maybe Okada and Omega are going to tag team against 2 Don Callis guys. Okay, that's how you build to a match.
A decent match.
That's decent booking. That's a fine match. You can have some tension in between. Okay, makes sense to me. Then you have Okada explode Kenny Omega's kidney on live television and have him spit up fake blood on the mat. That's called murder. That is murder.
He's dead on the floor now.
That's murder. That's not legal, and that should not be that you could continue having a title match after that. And then
he elbows him on the fucking stretcher.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what caused the bleeding. Yeah. No, here's the best part. And then Don and him are running out, and Don's like, they're going to kill us there. Who? Right. Nobody came out to save Omega. Nobody.
Here's my question, though, is like, make it make sense why taking an elbow off like the apron. It's not even like it was off some giant ass.
Right.
An elbow off the apron is killing Kenny Omega.
Because he has diverticulitis.
Right, but he's taken.
Yes, he's wrestled full matches.
What are we doing?
He's wrestled full matches. Again, don't get me wrong. If this was like the first thing when he came back and he's like, no, I'm back. Oh my God, and Okada got to him and hit him. Okay, fine. He's literally just had a fatal 4-way match against Brody King, Dorado, and I can't even remember who the other person was in that match. But there was another person in there.
Not to mention the nonsense that they did a few weeks ago.
Oh, yes, they did the Anarchy in the Arena match. Yes, with weapons and exploding shit. He jumped off the stage and hit him with a move, and his diverticulitis was perfectly fine. And it took one shitty elbow from a dude in a terrible suit. Yeah, exactly. On a literal pad. And here's my thing, too. If he had hit it a little more outwards and collapsed the stretcher, that would have been like...
at least looks good.
Well, yeah, if you had the stretcher legs, like, snap.
Yeah.
Oh, the thing just... dunk.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That was horrendous. That was absolutely horrendous. Speaking of AEW, what is your opinion on now Jon Moxley being a part of this court case now? For those of you who don't know, recently what came out today is that Jon Moxley in his cage match versus Kenny Omega for the world title, it turns out that there was a spot in the match where Moxley was walking around the ring and he just, and I literally, you could go online and watch this video, it's bizarre when you watch it, literally just runs up to the cameraman who's on like it's not like he's in his face, like in his way, just runs up to this camera guy and just shoves him into the barricade down where the camera like falls on top of him and the whole deal. Now this cameraman is suing AEW for negligence, injury, the whole nine civilly.
I mean, Dollars to Donuts is going to settle, but I think Mox is definitely going to lose now. I mean, I feel like you can't have him.
I agree with you. I've thought about that as well, that I was like, there's no way that he can win this match.
Yeah.
He can't
even if the case somehow settles before All In.
Yeah, but you can't have him be your world champion now.
Yeah.
With a court case pending, when you have people like Will Ospreay going on live television saying AEW sucks because of you.
Yeah.
Like, it's... I wonder in 10 years when we get more honest opinions from everybody about this, I wonder what the locker room's opinion is of Moxley. It can't be good.
It can't be good. I'm trying to think of like another... I'm trying to think of like a correlation. Like who would be...
He's the Jericho right now.
Right, but it's not like Jericho went around and friggin' assaulted people.
I know, you make a good point.
At least publicly.
He's like Brock. He's their version of Brock. Where he's just...
Yeah, or like when Punk was punching people backstage, or...
Even Punk, though, at least there was like some story to it. Like, all right, this guy embarrassed me on TV. I told him to handle it. He didn't handle it. Now they're... Like, there was like a build-up. Moxley's like Brock, where he's just running to the ring at Money in the Bank and just shoves a ladder over and just kills the cameraman.
Yeah.
And then just decides, I'm just going to whack these security guards with chairs as hard as I humanly can, despite the fact that they're not employees.
Right.
Like, he doesn't, like, it's the I don't give a shit, I'm going to get my shit in attitude that's so similar to these. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Speaking of Brock Lesnar, at least somewhat, rumor has it that Goldberg will be returning on tonight's episode of Shitty Night Raw.
Great.
He can go face Gunther now. Yippee.
In Saudi Arabia. What a Saudi Arabia.
I don't think it's going to happen in Saudi.
Is it SummerSlam?
No, I think it's going to be I think that's what they're going to do for Saturday night main event.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that's before SummerSlam, technically. Great. Awesome. I hope Gunther squashes the shit out of him.
I doubt it, though, somehow.
I doubt it, too.
I think that sucks.
They're going to put him over in the same way that... I think that he'll put Gunther over, but I think that it's going to be finisher spamming, where Goldberg's going to take the powerbomb, kick out at 1, Gunther's going to make the shock face, hit it with a clothesline, 1 count, Goldberg no sells, jackknife, Gunther kicks out at 2. It's going to be 6 minutes of finishers.
But, like, imagine for somehow they book fucking Goldberg to win and go into SummerSlam as the champion.
Oh, I'll stop watching.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's not like they're going to be doing... Because inevitably it's going to be Cena Cody again.
I won't watch Raw. I wouldn't watch it. Yeah. I actually could not conceivably think to myself that I would watch something. Well, first of all, then think about it. Like, oh my God, your champions are terrible. Like...
Right, like night 1 and night 2, SummerSlam, the main event's going to suck.
It's going to be horrendous.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, and again, it's the same reason why the Cena thing is starting not to work. The hostage storyline has been played way too much over the years with NWO and Moxley and now Cena, and then Goldberg's going to be the same exact thing. And I don't know if he's going to go out there thinking he's going to get cheered, but it's just not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's just not going to happen. And I think it's a waste of time for WWE. You could give him his retirement match, which I think it should have been Dolph, because Dolph did everything that the Goldberg match should have been. Sold, let his finisher get kicked out a bunch of times, whatever. It is not... I get that Gunther's going to beat him inevitably. Yeah. I think he has this 90% chance I think he beats him. But this does nothing for Gunther to go into SummerSlam. And now, again, it looks like with... And we could start talking about it too, that Jey Uso is the mystery opponent in this Rusev, Sheamus, and Bronson Reed match tonight. Inevitably, I think Jey Uso wins, unless there's some bullshittery with Braun and Bronson and Seth. But I don't think so. I think Jey Uso wins. I don't think Jey Uso wins King of the Ring. Yeah. And if you have Cody win King of the Ring and go face Cena at SummerSlam, which I think is the inevitable thing that's going to happen, where are you lining up Gunther to have any sort of feud right now?
Well, that plus here's my thing: if you have Jey win, which whatever, if you have Jey Uso win, your 4 potential people to go face presumably Cena at SummerSlam are Cody and Orton, who've done it already, Jey, who I'm not particularly interested in seeing face him, and Sammy, which I'm all like, cool, I guess. Yep. But it's not like they've had history really in the past. It's not like it's Kevin Owens or something like that. Where they
I agree. And actually, the best thing you could do is have Sammy win and go face Gunther, and then just... I don't understand why Cena's in this King of the Ring tournament. He just pinned Cena. Like, it's at the end of the day, he just pinned him. He should get the title opportunity automatically. We should be building this story up until that point. You're muddying it up now with this, like, again, why does Cody need King of the Ring? Honestly, Sami Zayn winning King of the Ring in Saudi Arabia as a Jewish man would be, as a Syrian, would be so good. And they're going to squander it because they're going to let Cody Rhodes win. They're going to let him go face Cena. And if he doesn't, you're gonna imply the storyline. Then they're like, how does Cody get to Cena? He just pinned him. That's how he gets there. Like, how the hell else do you expect him to get there?
And the fact that they're not, like, that would at least have done something with the tag match. The tag match literally now just meant absolutely
nothing other than R-Truth coming back.
Right, and like Cena tried to like spin it in his promo or whatever as like, oh, taking Logan Paul out of, like, being a potential challenger or whatever. Which, by the way, that whole promo segment sucked. The first one.
On Raw?
Yeah, the first one with Orton and Cody and LA Knight.
Oh, on SmackDown. Yeah. Yes, I agree with you. I didn't understand anything that was going on there. It was like he was justifying the booking.
Right, it was like he was justifying the booking, which is fine. But then you have Orton come out, then you have
Cody.
Then you have Cody come out. Which, fine, if you're just going to have Cody come out, that's fine. But then you have Orton come out and talk some shit. Then you have LA Knight, of all people, which I get he was in the next match.
Right.
But then you have LA Knight, of all people, come out and talk shit for no reason, because he's obviously not facing Cena.
Right, and that's the thing, too. Like, if you're going to put a guy in that position, you have to let him win.
Exactly.
You can't then have LA Knight lose and then be like, oh, sorry, guys.
That match pissed me off, too, because why did Alistair take that pin? I don't get what they're trying to do with bringing him back now.
I don't know why Orton needs these wins right now.
I don't know why Orton needs the wins, but...
I don't get it. I don't know why Orton needed any of that to be... He's not going to go face Cena, and if he does, you made a horrible mistake. Like, Orton should be going and putting over a guy... Any of those guys in that match he should have been trying to put over. Like, yes, I don't think any of those guys in that match were going to conceivably win King of the Ring, but I would much rather watch Sami Zayn versus LA Knight, Sami Zayn versus Aleister Black, Sami Zayn versus Carmelo Hayes, who's been jobbed. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I just don't understand. Now you're going to have Sami go face Orton, and it's going to be this whole, like... Again, if Orton wins... And that's probably what's going to happen. Orton's going to win, and then it's going to be Cody and Orton because they're buddies. And again, this whole thing is, I guess, Cody's having to stomp on his friends to get to his spot. I don't like it. I'm so ready for this Cena title reign to end. Honest to God. It's boring the hell out of me.
I don't think it ends at SummerSlam.
Oh, no, I don't think it ends at SummerSlam. I think he beats Cody again. And I think it makes no conceivable sense. Because you're just doing it.
Where do you go from there?
You can... it's...
Because, like, I'm running out of people he can realistically face here that I'm going to at least somewhat care about.
Me too.
AJ is really the end of my list. Because they're doing Punk in Saudi.
Yep.
AJ is really the end of my list. Because Kevin Owens is out. He's hurt.
Yeah, I can't... I mean...
And there's no other faces unless you're going to give him a heel on heel, which makes even less sense.
Yes. Well, that's the thing, too, is, like...
Or if you're going to have Roman come back and turn face. That would be cool.
Right.
But I don't think they're going to do that.
No, and again, why wouldn't he have come out already?
Right.
Because now you've muddied it up, too, where Roman is honestly the most conceivable person that should be facing Cena at a SummerSlam or something and lose to put over this that Cody could be the actual babyface. You're doing it in reverse. And honestly, again, I could be wrong. Maybe they're going to give Roman the bell again. I don't know, but he is a part-timer at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And yes, if Roman were to save the company, it would get a big pop. Yes, it would sell tickets. But Roman at his best was a heel. And he was a heel who was hoarding the belt.
Yeah.
And that worked for him because he was able to, week to week it was changing. Different people would come at him. They built the Cody thing a year to, get him back to WrestleMania. And then they had the whole bloodline collapse, which you were able to, like, I remember that time period being like, all right, well, Cody is clearly going to be the person to take the belt off Roman. But they were doing a lot of interesting stories to get up until that point. The tag match with Solo against the Usos. The Jay versus Roman match. The Sammy versus Roman match. All these matches, the LA Knight match, like all these matches made sense up until that point because they had stories with Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
With Cena, it's like you're gonna have to have him do some random ass shit up until he loses that belt when you get out of the Cody thing, because he has no partners that he's with. He has no, there's no Rock match that you're building to because he was his teammate. Like, there's nothing you're building to that's around Cena. Other than Cena needs another opponent. Right. That's, again, like, you going back to that promo that you just made a comment about. I hated it, too, because he's like, oh, I have no other challengers. Who'd you run through? R-Truth, old. Orton, old.
And that's the other thing. It's like they're building this whole R-Truth thing up again. So he's
facing him on Friday.
Is he going to face... Well, yeah.
For nothing.
For nothing.
I can't understand that either. I'm like, so you're going to have them inevitably main event Smackdown. What if R-Truth wins? What happens?
Are they going to go to Saudi?
Actually, honestly, is there something in between now and Saudi? No.
Saudi
soon.
Yeah, it's like a couple weeks.
Yeah. And that's what, like, abuses me, too, because I'm like, okay, so you're going to have R-Truth face him on Friday. You're going to have R-Truth lose?
Right.
And if he wins, I think it's through Punk interference. But then another person has pinned John Cena.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if they pivoted this whole story that they want Truth to win the belt or something, but I can't understand it.
I can't understand what prompted them to do a complete, 180 on R-Truth. From, comedy character to releasing him to now bringing him back as, this serious...
main event guy?
Sort of, babyface-ish, heel-ish character.
Well, that's the interesting thing, too, is, the way that they built this universe out, it's there are too many things happening at once.
Yeah.
If you had R-Truth come back during the Cody match and help him win, okay, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay, Cena screwed him over. He came back. His whole, again, it seems like R-Truth's bit right now is, I just hate Cena.
Yeah, but he just came back and just beat the shit out of him and then was like, see ya.
But are we doing that week to week now? Right. So what happens on Friday? So let's say Cena caused the DQ. So are we going to have to expect that every Cena match R-Truth comes out?
Right.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
And again, you're not building to any young guys. We are 6 months through this retirement tour, and he has put over 0 people. 0.
Not even young guys. They're not building to anything.
Well, they built R-Truth, but he's 50-something years old.
Right, but it's not maybe they will because their booking's nutty bananas recently, but R-Truth isn't winning the belt. Punk's not winning the belt in Saudi Arabia.
Well, that's the thing. Again, you did the worst.
So what are we building to here? Cody and SummerSlam?
That's what my question.
We're
that's my problem. That's my problem too, because even if you do the perfect booking here and you have Sami Zayn win King of the Ring and go face Gunther, because that makes the most sense.
what do you do with Cena?
What do you do with Cena?
Yeah.
What do you do? You've already established that win that Cody got over Cena means nothing. Are you going to have R-Truth go face him at SummerSlam? No. Are you going to have Cody not do anything on SummerSlam? No. That's stupid. So that's why the only thing that can happen is Cody win King of the Ring. And then, yes, it's going to leave Gunther in a spot of
Goldberg.
Yes.
I genuinely think.
I don't disagree that it's the only thing that it's the only thing that it seems like they want to do right now. And even if they don't do specifically that match, like if they do it on Saturday night main event, whatever, but you're still going to come to SummerSlam, you still need a main event or whatever, opener, because that's what they did at WrestleMania this year. I don't know who Gunther could face. You haven't built anybody up for him. You have so many guys that would, again, a fucking Rusev versus Gunther match. Yeah, great. But you're not building to it right now. And even at this match that's happening tonight, I don't know who's taking that pin. Because you want Rusev and Sheamus to continue this feud, but you have to have Rusev go do something at some point.
Well, that's my thing, is they teased this feud like a month ago at this point.
Yeah, them too.
Where have they been?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Rusev on TV.
Nope.
I haven't seen Sheamus on TV. Unless one of them's hurt.
Well, if you
don't know about it.
It's because they made that Money in the Bank match so weirdly booked to the point where it was like, it was stupid that Rusev was in that match. Again, his whole gimmick right now is that he wants to be champion.
Yep.
So how are we going to get to that point if nothing else? Again, inevitably, I'm not going to lie to you. I think that they're just going to throw a throwaway battle royal or something on TV or mini tournament or whatever to determine who faces for the world title. Because if you just give it to somebody for SummerSlam for a main event, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense whatsoever. But let's see what else we have here. We just went through a lot of stuff.
I want to talk about NXT booking. I was like, it got in the build up to Worlds Collide, and I guess it makes sense because they're building up to, the quote unquote event. I feel like it's just dropped off the face of the earth. Like any sort of coherence in their booking.
In what regard are you referring to?
I mean, in the regard of like, there's just so, at least in this past episode, there's just so many filler matches.
Oh, I agree with that. I mean, like, again, nobody thinks that Shawn Legacy is going to win that belt. You have
no. I mean, the one good match was Obafemi.
Yes,
and that was just two large men hitting each other.
Yes. Well, I think that's kind of the problem that you're coming to with NXT right now is they're in the problem that the original NXT 2.0 had is that they had a bunch of stars that they built up and they shipped them to the main roster as quickly as they could. Looks like Ricky Saints is going to the main roster. It looks like all these guys, it looks like they're building that Obafemi starting to get weaker, which implies he's probably going to the main roster. But in the main roster is almost too many monsters. Really, you have Rusev, you have Gunther, you have Aleister Black who needs to be pushed. You have Legado, which they've been pushed out right away, and now you got to do something with them on TV. You still have the Judgment Day. You still have Damian Priest. Drew McIntyre is going to come back from.
And it's not you're going to play any of these guys in NXT either.
Exactly. That's kind of the problem is you're building so much to this one huge conglomerate. Oh my God, this is going to be awesome, and it's. You put Obafemi on Raw, he's going to get lost in the shuffle. You put him on SmackDown, he's going to get lost in the shuffle. And then the problem is you're building all these monsters up and your freaking champion is not facing a single one of them.
Yep.
You cannot have these guys just go week to week beating up on random jobbers and then expect, again, like you said,
I expect me to care when I go face Gunther.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And again, then who are your two mid-card champions? Yes, you have a monster and Jacob Fatu, but then you have Dom. Why isn't Rusev going after Dom?
Right, but fighting Fatu's doing his own thing. Dom's doing his own thing. It's not. They're not even fighting for the belt.
Right.
The problem.
The belt has become secondary to both those people's storylines now, especially with and we could recap a little bit, but Jacob Fatu.
I want to talk about that for a second because it seems like we did another 180 with Solo's character.
Yes,
they went from him being this big serious guy when he took over from Roman, and then he's this goofy ass, dumbass guy.
Yep.
After, the whole thing ended with the bloodline. And now it seems like he's back to being this big, serious guy. And I'm literally overnight.
Yep.
It just makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly. You're talking about the promo that he did in the back where Jesse's, I don't understand it. And that's kind of the issue too, is it's I get why he became goofy because then, Fatu gets mad at him by being goofy. Why are you being so goofy? Now he's back to being serious. And inevitably, I think the Tongans are coming back. And then Hikuleo just debuted on SmackDown in a dark match. Great.
You can have him bury Fatu?
I don't know what this.
And then he's still the U.S. champion.
Well, that's the problem. So is this all for the U.S. belt? Solo has not said at all that he wants the U.S. title. Yeah. And I can get if you do a story of like he wants to take something from Jacob, but then okay, great. Solo wins or loses. There, like the loser in this feud is going to be diminished. Because yes, you could give the first. Because that's the other thing too. Fatu is still not taking a pin loss.
Yeah,
and it makes no sense. Again, if I were them, I would randomly book Fatu against 2-3 other guys in a championship match on SmackDown, and you have Solo interfere and just let them go do their feud.
Yes.
And same thing with Dom. Dom's having this whole thing with Balor on the side. It's basically the same story, but on Raw.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same thing in reverse. With sabotage from from the leader of the group to the champion of the group. But it still doesn't make any sense because although Finn is at least a little more reason to go for the Intercontinental Championship, I think that Dom needs to lose that to a different person like Rusev so that they could keep these two stories going simultaneously. And I don't think any of it works right now when you're trying to have like a deeper story, but at the same time, it's supposed to be about the title, but it's not supposed to be about the title. And it's maybe
it's not like they're mentioning the title really anyways. I mean, I guess it's pretty evident from the way they started the feud that Finn wanted to be the IC champion. We haven't done anything with it since.
Right.
Again, that's what confuses me. Like, we're, I don't know how close we are to Night of Champions right now, but we are getting closer. And you have not given me an inkling of what are we doing with the tag belts on either brand? What are we doing with either mid-card brand? What are we doing with the women's titles on either brand?
Yeah. Yeah. Which is another thing that's so weird to me is why are they starting up Nia Jax again? Yeah. There's so much women's talent on the roster.
Yep.
Especially with Charlotte and Alexa now just coming back.
Yep. And Julia and
all the NXT calls them. Yeah.
So it makes no sense to me that you're having to go back to the Nia Jax feud when honestly, if you want to build, who is the women's tag champs? I have no fucking idea. I just realized
it's still no, because I saw her in the graphic. It's what's her name? It's Raquel.
It's
Raquel and Liv.
Yes.
Which again, Liv's feuding with Nikki Bella now for no fucking reason.
Dude,
Raquel is absent for no fucking reason. Like, what is this? I don't get the belts. None of the belts mean anything right now.
It's like they have so many belts to make stories, but then they're doing all these side stories that are taking away from the belts. I'm just like, okay, just take the belts off them and put it on Nia Jax and another person.
Exactly. The only belt that's actually doing anything right now is somehow the women's IC belt.
Yeah.
That's the only belt that's having any sort of relevant conversation on TV.
And that has been, honestly, and I can't believe I'm saying, I think the women's entirety of booking has been much better than the men's.
Oh, 1,000.
Naomi winning the Money in the Bank, and that was, teasing that she's going to cash in. Becky's feud with Lyra, all of that is levels above anything going on in the men's.
Even a little shit like the video. I don't remember if it was a video that she posted or if it was a pro or something, but the fact that she's carrying all these weapons around in the briefcase or whatever for when she goes to catch.
Yes.
That's just great small shit that it's just never been done before.
Yeah. I agree with you. And I don't understand how they're going to be able to, they have to pivot some of these men's storylines to either something about the belts or give it to, because then like we were just saying, you have guys like Alistair, Carmelo, Rusev, Sheamus.
Yeah.
A bunch of guys on this roster right now.
Not to mention, you gave Fatu the U.S. belt. Are you going to waste his first pinfall loss on the United States Championship?
On Solo.
Well, forget Solo. I mean, just in general, you're going to waste it on the U.S. belt? You're not going to go face Gunther?
Yep.
Or Jay or whoever the fuck's going to hold that?
Yep. It's like they're forgetting the plot.
Yeah.
It's like they've built up all these guys so high. Like, again, even the same thing with Rusev. Rusev still technically hasn't taken a pin. I don't see him taking the pin tonight. But whoever pins him is going to get, that's a big win for them. Mm-hmm. Are you going to waste that on him going for an Intercontinental Championship? Or are you going to let him go after Gunther and make that a legit contest? Because that's the best booking decision you can make for a match, for a feud, to have these two guys that are from kind of the same part of the world go at it, or team, which will be interesting. Yeah, but that's also the problem too, is we've lived, I think, post The Rock getting involved and having seen a turn, we are living in this weird, like everything's been on pause. The bloodline hasn't moved, right? Until now. Like there was no, like, even though they were doing rumblings, there was no change in the bloodline from when The Rock did his thing to now.
Yeah. The only thing
Judgment Day.
The only thing that's moved is Seth's thing that he built.
Yes, you're right. Seth is the only thing, and that's been the most interesting thing on TV.
Yeah.
And even then, he's coming out on Smackdown to talk shit to Cena.
Right.
And being like, oh, I'm going to cash in on you. Why wasn't he cashing in? Why was there no attempt to cash in on Jay and Gunther when that was clearly line drive? That's exactly what they were talking about they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Seth said, I want the world title back. I want to cash in for the world heavyweight title.
Or why was there no attempt to cash in on Cena when Archer's beat the shit out when either time?
Yep. And now he's saying like, oh, I'm going to be waiting for the Punk and Cena match.
Waiting for what?
Waiting for what? You said that you didn't say you wanted this belt. And now, and again, logically, yes, it would make sense. If Punk won and then he cashed in and he screwed over Punk. Yes, that's the story that you could be progressing.
That's not Punk but like it doesn't make any sense.
I agree. I don't think it makes any sense that Punk's feuding with Cena right now.
Yeah.
When he's had all this beef with Seth this whole time. And honestly, he's had a little bit more beef with Gunther, just, back and forth about, like whatever, their wrestling and stuff. I think it should be Punk, Gunther, Cena, Cody at Saudi Arabia.
Mm.
And then you could have, obviously then Cena could cheat in some other way. I also, and I've said this since I think the first episode of the podcast, Cena needs faction. He needs guys around him that can, again, whether it be an Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, who are doing nothing on TV right now, whether it be a big guy like Rusev, who could really use somebody to protect for the time being, to protect his character, whether it be the New Day, or just as, who could call them, you could call it Faction the Goats.
Yeah.
Like, you could call whatever you want, but Cena on his own right now, just doing belt shot, does not.
Especially it's not doing any sort of even remote character building.
Yeah.
Which I guess, it's Cena. He doesn't need to build his character or whatever. But he's coming out and saying the same 2 words the whole time.
Right.
You suck. I'm the best. It's like,
he's calling himself a mathematician on TV. He's talking about math. I'm like, he said, I hear that this would happen. I calculated everything. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, you're trying to justify booking that makes no goddamn sense. Yeah, it's like he's sniffing his own.
What's worse is they had everyone in that promo play off with it too.
Yes. No, because it's clear that Cena called down the back. He was like, oh, guys, he's sniffing his own.
It's good as shit.
Yeah, it's good shitting this right now. Hey, it's just garbage. It's garbage as hell. And they need to reassess this whole Cena thing. Reassess if it needs to end sooner, or who are we building to after? Is there anything? Because you have to also remember the best part about Roman's feud is he gets done beating Brock, Cena comes out.
Yeah.
Gets done getting Cena, Punk comes out. Or that was War Games, but you know what I mean? Like, War Games happens, Punk comes out. What? Then, they built each and every block of that to have, like, every time something ended, something started. Now it's like,
and then when it actually ended, fucking everyone came.
Right, exactly, because everyone had a diff against him. Again,
I guess they don't have like the 3 years to do that, but
understandable. But you at least had time to think about it. Like the fact that Cena's not gonna. Again, why would Cena be trying to team with Paul?
Right,
that would have made more. Not team with him just as like an individual, but just be like, hey Seth, you and your guys should help me because I can help you go beat Gunther.
Yeah.
But no, you chose Logan Paul.
Right.
Like, come on, that makes no goddamn sense when they're both doing the same gimmick, Seth and Cena, of like, no one's coming to save you. So, I don't know. I'm not talking about AEW. I've run through this list.
I don't understand what they're thinking about with these 4-hour shows.
Oh, AEW 4 hour? Yeah, no.
I don't get like what it is.
It all is going to be like 12 hours.
Because I tuned in and they opened with friggin' Ospreay and Swerve.
Yep.
And I was like, great. And then it ticked down, and then it ticked down. Yeah, it ticked down. And I was like,
and you could see where they're losing viewers.
For like an hour and a half, and I'm like, what am I even watching?
Frank Hagman comes out on TV and they hog-tied him. It's literally hog-tied him, throwing him in the ring.
And then Don Callis is the main event. I don't get it.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. I don't get why didn't they close with Swerve and Hank and Ospreay?
Because Tony is somehow still booking it like it's Collision. Like, he's not booking those last 2 hours of the 4-hour show as if is a full 4-hour show. Again, if he was, you would have, again, and not that I like this segment, but you would have had the hogtie thing come out first and end it with him actually getting his hands on Moxley.
Yeah.
But then Moxley disappears in hour 2 and we don't see him for another 2 hours. And I'm stuck watching fucking, what is his name?
Thekla.
Thank you. I'm sitting here watching Thekla against Lady Frost in hour 3 of a 4-hour wrestling show. I'm watching Thekla. And I'm supposed to watch this squash match and be like, wow, Thekla's got something.
Yeah.
Guess what she's got? Not my attention. Because like, and don't get me wrong, if you started with it, like, that's fine. Like, how do you get worse as your program goes on?
That's actually crazy that you bring that. So I'm looking at the order.
Yes.
It's so they started with Swerve and Ospreay, then they did the Mystico thing, which which makes sense because they're building through it. Her Art Syndicate match, which is like the TJ match was all right. I mean, whatever. Kyle Fletcher, okay.
And yeah, versus Bones. At least it's 2 guys who are on AEW or who are WWE guys.
And then FTR nonsense. Tony Storm nonsense of Mercedes trying to lick her or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, what the hell was that? What is with these storylines that Tony... Yo, and this is all I'm saying, bro. If WWE ever tried that shit, the internet would be going...
The internet would lose.
They would be losing their shit. But because Tony's framing it like it's their idea, it's like softcore porn, dude.
No, literally. And then they do the fucking... And then they do the mixed wrestling, which they've done for like the past 3 or 4 weeks now on every show. I don't remember who was in it. But they've done the mixed wrestling matches.
What?
I was gold for every shows.
What mixed wrestling match? What do you...
Mixed tag team.
Like a guy and a girl?
Yeah, I think it's 2 guys and a girl or something like that.
Well, I don't remember that happening.
Yeah, but like another thing, that doesn't happen. Like, why are we not doing that? If that happened in WWE, people would lose their minds every week. What is? I don't get the point.
Well, and that's also kind of the problem too. Is like, although a 4-hour show is long, dude, SmackDown's 3 hours, and I still
SmackDown's 3 hours, Raw's 3 hours.
Yep, and I still get something at the end of both of those shows. That's okay. I get a little seat at the end of the show. You know what I mean? It's worth my time at the end of the conversation. When I end the show with Thekla and Don Callis, I don't want to fucking watch, dude. And it's like the worst part is you're not even giving me like Takeshita versus, I don't know, Takeshita versus I'm trying to think of a viable baby. They have a lot of baby faces in AEW. I don't know.
But like, there's so many people that you could put outside, like even Ricochet. Okay, at least that's interesting to watch.
You give me
This doesn't watch him do a flip and be like,
it's happening. Wrestling. Like, at least there's something going on when you're making me watch 8-man tag matches.
making me watch.
What the fuck is a Thekla? Oh my god, I know. It's fucking, I can't. It's like both programs are trying to get me agita, bro.
It's literally we need to get slowly stooping to this level now. It's like I can't watch wrestling anymore.
But no, it's actually funny because as much shit as even I gave Orange Cassidy, dude, Mr. Iguana is their version of fucking Cassidy. It's just as bad. It's just as goofy. It's
literally a merch grab.
Yeah,
it's not like they're gonna have him do anything.
Yep, it's just as bad. You can't tell me any different.
No.
Oh my god. I gotta wash my mouth out.
Thekla juice.
Oh my god. Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, there's another. What else is on? Who also? Why are they making such a big deal about Nick Aldis taking over Raw for a week? Like, like a whole thing about it. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Unless he's going to do something, which, like, that would be at least interesting.
Well, I hope that he forces Dom to defend that belt, right? That's the only thing that I could see him doing. If I get an interview.
You know, it would be so funny.
What?
And I would actually, it's not going to happen. But it'd be so funny if Nick Aldis was. It's like, why is Jay doing this? What's he doing?
Why do we give him this spot? You just had it. Rikishi bullied his way to the top on this one, brother. Which I would say that's a Lucas off camera. I think the best gimmick ever is Jay Uso turning heel and having his dad be like the annoying football captain. That his dad like gets him like, the starting position. His dad complains when he doesn't get good grades, like, and have Rikishi do that. That'd be hilarious.
So funny.
That'd be awesome.
Which not to mention, like, why is Rikishi all of a sudden now chiming up? Like, Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble out of nowhere. He won the belt out of nowhere and like stupidly
stick up for Jimmy. Stick for Jimmy.
Where's Jimmy?
Where the hell's Jimmy been on TV? You know, James are coming out. I get the like, and I can't get any Jimmy Uso. Who's that's the Jimmy? I would debate is as good, if not much better than Jay.
Jimmy's funny.
Yes, at least Jimmy gives me some entertainment. I don't need to see goddamn Heat anymore. No Yeet.
No shit, no yeet.
No Yeet. Oh, yeah, you're all right.
Liv Morgan and Kyrie Sane tonight too.
Is that what's happening?
It's interesting for them all. Oh, awesome. I'm sure the live box says Nikki Bella runs out and hits her 0.5 will move.
Yeah, I give you $3 that the fact that they'll do.
I'll literally turn off wrong if I see Nikki Bella do that shit.
100% she's gonna do it.
I'm trying.
Which is also weird because Nikki Bella's always been a heel, and now you're gonna have her feud with the biggest heel in the entire company. I give you $5 though. They're gonna do that 3 commercial breaks in that match. They're gonna start. Kyrie Sane's gonna hit a dive, commercial break. Nurse gonna go to the Heat, commercial break. Then they're gonna end it, commercial break. I guarantee you that match is gonna be the one that they're just like, oh, John's in the door.
Slim your tables. Get your tables. What's so stupid about that is I forget who talked about this. I think it was Santi. He talked about how they're gonna have to do way more table spots than they usually do now because I imagine there's a quota that they have to meet for the number of times they show it.
And yeah, at least the amount of times they bring it out of. Yeah, right. Yeah, I agree with you.
Which is dumb. Because like that defeats the whole purpose of using it as a weapon. If people are like, "Oh, there's gonna be a table this week," and that's like, "What's?"
Well, actually, you know what? From this point on, we should start counting. So, did they do it on SmackDown?
I think so. Yeah, they did. They put what they put through a table. Someone fell through a table. I don't remember.
I think somebody did too on SmackDown. So let's say that's 1 week that it's happened. 2 if you're counting the week before, because that's when it started. So 2 weeks in a row we've had table spots. Let's see if tonight and or SmackDown they have a Slim Jim table spot.
They should have done a Slim Jim counter, so it would have been way better.
That would have been funny. See, that actually makes sense because the kendo stick is stupid to put under the regular like that.
Paint it like it.
Yeah. If it's orange and red, but like that still looks cool at least because it's a sword, not just a logo on the table.
What else is on run then? Bailey's back.
He's great.
Oh, the other match. I don't think I wrote it on here, but the women's 4-way. I mean, the ring. Yeah. Asuka, it's Asuka, Raquel. What's her name? Jesus Christ.
Lion?
No. Bakar. And then some other Supreme chick. I can't remember who this is.
If they were smart, they have Bakar win this whole thing. And just shoot her the fucking title. At this point. You pushed her majorly. I mean, either that or Asuka, obviously, because Asuka's back.
She should be Asuka. I think Asuka versus Tiffany would be interesting.
You know, I'm with that. I'm fine with that. Who's the women's world heavyweight champion?
Who is the other women's champion?
Io?
Yeah.
Io Shirai. I'd be down for Asuka versus Io too.
I don't care.
What was this? Io was on TV.
She can't go. You can't say she can't speak. She can speak.
That is the barrier of entry with her. I'm making Andrade win a belt.
Yeah. Well, Shinsuke was not a good champion.
Yeah, and he only got the United States out even. Yeah. They let him win that Royal Rumble. They took a big, mean, stinky shit on his face.
Took a big nut shot. They're doing.
Oh, well, there it was, ladies and gentlemen. There was our week of wrestling that we just went.
Oh, we didn't even talk about NWA.
Oh,
they got a TV deal.
If you could call it that.
Yeah, TV. Roku, I don't even know what it's called.
You guys want to know this? It actually takes 65 tickets sold to wrestle on an NWA show. That's not a word.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can
be on the NWA. If you sell 60 to 70 tickets for one of their shows,
you yourself, honestly, just buy it.
You could. I've seen that happen as well. You could be on NWA and get squashed in 3 minutes from a person who hasn't been on the show. Who's hell off all guys on that show. Go watch my new what the fuck is going on with the NWA video. Yeah, I don't know what wrestling is right now, but it ain't good. But unfortunately, we will sit through the 8 to 10 hours of programming that happens week to week and report it back to you every Monday. Ladies and gentlemen,
let's just go watch a ball. How about that?
I don't need to add. No, Jesus Christ. No, I'm not watching that. I'm not watching a ball. I'd literally rather go watch GCW. At least those guys hit each other with interesting weapons. I'm not gonna go watch a ball to watch a bunch of indie guys wrestle in front of 4 people. I'd rather watch BWO.
Let's just binge watch LFG every week.
Thank God that's over. Thank God that's over. I'd rather the Undertaker wrestle on LFG now. I'd rather watch that than watch anything on the wall, honestly. Good Lord. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was your programming this week for wrestling. I am the Puerto Rican Prince. This is the Universe Lucas Greifzu. We have just reported on wrestling, if that's what you want to call it. And we'll be back here next week, hopefully with more, hopefully happier, but still elevate pro wrestling news.